Hello, all of you. Welcome to our new students, and welcome back to the rest of you. So, what we're going to do is we're going to now do one of the lessons from the second chapter, and it actually draws on the previous lesson. But you all were not with us in the morning, so you don't have the homework from the previous lesson. You haven't done your homework, which was a little drawing. So we're going to do the drawing again here, so that they all have, so that you all have the drawing, and then we'll use it. So you will notice that part of this lesson will be repeat from the previous one, but we'll go deeper and explain more. And we'll be able to do that also because these children are also a bit older and more intelligent, maybe. So to begin with, so we can get to know you, maybe could each of you say your name, introduce yourself, just say your name, and then maybe if you feel comfortable, share with us a fun fact about you. Does it make sense? A fun fact? Something interesting about you or something, and then we can start. Yeah, why don't you start, Jen?
So, my name is Jen, and a fun fact about me is that I, at one time in my life, lived in India.
Hello, I'm Kun Sang, and a fun fact about me is that I like to skate and go outside.
Hello, my name is Tenzin Kinsom, and fun fact about me is I'm little bit short-tempered.
My name is Tenzi Yongdu, and my fun fact is I'm very forgetful.
Hello to all. My name is Tenzin Chiki, and my fun fact is that I read to write and read.
Hello everyone, my name is Ring Dogger, and my fun fact is to sing.
Would you like to?
Hello, I'm Nam Gyo, and my fun fact is if I tell something, I will never stop.
Good afternoon to all. My name is Tenzin Chunyi, and fun fact about me is I like to stay idle.
Hello everyone, my name is Raksha Subha, and a fact about me is I love chocolate and I'm crazy about that.
Hello, my name is Tanzin Chingi, and I'm from Upper Tisui, and my fun fact is that I love to dance.
Hi everyone, my name is Tenzi Jambe, and the fun fact about me is I don't love to hang out.
Hello everyone, I'm Naong Drinky, and my fun fact is I'm very confusing.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Sring Doma, and my fun fact is that I love to read novels.
Hello guys, my name is Tenzin Vesel, and the fun fact is that I like to play video games and like to sing.
Good afternoon, my name is Tenzing Namda. My fun fact is I like jokes.
Hi, my name is Ten Sang, and a fun fact about me is I love making slime.
Hello everyone, I am Pema, and the fun fact about me is I love dancing.
Hello, my name is Tenzin Veser. A fun fact about me is I like to make a cake.
Good afternoon to all. My name is Lapsan Chudin, and the fun fact about me is I like to read storybooks.
Good afternoon to anyone.
I am Tenzin Shunzi, and the fun fact after the fun fact of me is I like to be talkative.
Good morning to all. My name is Kesang Shirba, and my fun fact is that I want to be like my friend Shinji.
Thank you all. You're a very fun group.
What's your fun fact, Brendan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. My name is Brendan, and fun fact about me is I like to play trumpet and saxophone. So, we're going to do a few exercises, just little activities first to start with. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can listen and hear 3 things inside this room. And if you listen and if you hear 3 things inside this room without saying anything, you can raise your hand.
Do you need a translation, or you understand what we should do? Maybe we can just clarify the instructions.
Di sebu chasweng azu tanda chego chi tubi harwa di khares laba ina tanda azu khausun bujin shu en khangba di nangla daminda wa sum thö tubi ya ki thapshi cher en daminda wa sum thö yunde ni kyanze lakwa kyangna dibyo re kyenso ke sungo mare.
Oh, okay. You don't need to say, just...
tanda sungo mare daminda wa sum kosu na ani cha ya kyangni shuro je.
So everyone's listening. When you have found 3 things, then raise your hand just silently and hold it up. Okay, you can put your hand down. So now let's do the same thing, but let's try to see if we can hear 3 things outside this room. And if you can, when you've found 3 things outside this room, then raise your hand and keep it up. Okay. Now, what do you notice happened when we were listening for the 3 sounds? It's quiet in here. Yes, it became quiet. Did anyone else notice that? That it became very quiet in here? What else?
Everybody was concentrated.
Everyone was concentrating. Did anyone notice anything else? What happened to our bodies?
Our heart started to beat fast.
Ah, you noticed your heart started to beat fast. Very observant. Did anybody else notice something that happened to your body?
Everybody was concentrating and listening to the sound going in the outs.
Yes, okay. Everyone was concentrating and listening.
When we were concentrating for 3 things that we listened, so everybody's body was really still and were really deep inside their thoughts.
So our bodies became still. Yeah. So if you listen right now, right? Why don't we try that again? Listen. Let's try to listen for 3 sounds inside or outside this room. But this time, when you found the 3 sounds, pay attention to what you notice inside your body. Can we do that? Okay. Let's try. This time, why don't you raise your hand if you notice something inside your body? Notice your heart beating, your breathing, maybe something changing inside your body as you're listening. And it's okay if you don't notice anything. It's okay. Okay, those of you who put your hands up, if you can keep them up, just so I can see it, then we'll share. Or otherwise you can put them up later.
My heart is beating fast.
Okay.
I can feel my heart beating fast and breathing.
I felt very eager in my heart to tell what I heard about.
Okay. So you said you felt eager. Where do you feel the eagerness?
At heart.
At the heart. Was there something you noticed about the heart that let you know you were eager?
Yeah, a very weird feeling, and very excited about to express my feeling and things like that.
Okay, so you felt excitement in the heart. Okay, wonderful.
It was more comfortable than before.
You felt more comfortable. Where did you feel more comfortable? If you don't mind.
Before my heart was beating faster, but not this time.
So your heart was beating faster, but did it slow down? Is that so you noticed your heart slowed down, and you noticed you felt more comfortable than before.
Yes.
Wonderful.
My ear felt more concentrated.
Ear felt more concentrated. Was that pleasant or unpleasant or
Yeah, pleasant.
neutral? It was pleasant.
Yeah.
Okay, your ears felt good. And there was some here.
My heart was beating faster and my body was shivering because I was nervous.
Oh, okay. Very good.
At first, when I entered this class, I was really nervous, but after listening to something and concentrating on something, it makes me feel calm and a little excited.
Can you share with us, if you're comfortable, how did you notice the calm? Where did you notice it?
Like before, I was really nervous. I was just clicking my pens out and writing something, but now I'm really calm and I feel like my heart is beating slowly.
So your heart slowed down. That's how you knew you were getting calmer, is it? Okay, wonderful. Anyone else here?
My brain was thinking of something, like the three sounds that I heard.
So you noticed your brain.
Yes.
Very good. So, is it good? Anybody else excited to share something? That's wonderful. You noticed many things inside the body. The heart changing, the breathing, the ear. You even noticed your brain. So what? Oh, go on.
My body was calming down because when I first entered this hall, I was little nervous and shy.
So you felt your body calming down? Which part of your body?
Brain.
Your brain. Okay. You felt your brain calming down. Good, very good. So when we notice things inside our body, the heart beating, some kind of feeling of relaxation, feeling pleasant, Does anyone know what we call those things? This thing, if I feel heat in my body, tightness. We sense them. That's a clue.
Even a Tibetan word. Is there a Tibetan word that you can?
This young lady.
Sensory.
Sensory? Yes, sensory. So we call them sensations. Yes. They're sensory because we sense them. We feel them inside our body. Sensations. This is a word you've heard before? Sensations. So sensations are things we feel with our body. Could you think of some examples of sensations? What are things we can feel? Let me make a list.
Nervousness and scare,
okay.
And also sadness, happiness, joy, and enjoy, and a little.
Okay, so that's very good. These are all things we can feel in our body, right? We can feel happiness, sadness. Many of you said you felt calmness, right? But then when you said, I feel calm, we also asked, how do you know you are calm? And then you talked about physical things in the body, like the heart and so forth. Yeah. What is that? No, please, if you're comfortable. You want to give an example of sensation? Please.
Example. If we are injured, we can sense the pain.
We can sense pain. So good. Pain, if we can write pain, yeah. So pain is a sensation we feel, right? Because we can feel it somewhere in the body, right? So if my hand feels painful, if this hand feels painful, it doesn't necessarily mean this hand feels painful, right? It doesn't mean my ear feels painful. So what are other things that we can feel in certain parts of our body? So other sensations. We can feel pain, but can we feel other things with our body? Oh, yeah.
We can sense our heart.
Yes.
The heart.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can sense the heart if it's beating faster or slower. Sometimes it's beating very strong, right? So these are things we can sense. What else can we sense?
When someone helps us, we feel happiness.
So when you feel happiness, where do you feel it in the body?
From whole part.
Whole body. And what does it feel like?
Like a joy.
Joy?
Yeah, joyness. Because if someone helps us, it feels like he's our friend.
Okay. Do you notice what happens in your body when you feel joy?
Joy, yeah.
You feel openness or closeness? You feel tight or loose?
Opened.
You feel open?
Yeah.
More open?
And want to help more.
Okay. Good. So openness is something we can feel in our body. Openness and instead of maybe closedness. Okay, so that's the sensation.
When your heart is broken, you feel a little sadness and and it is the feeling like a meteor is crushed onto you, and you feel crying like crying.
So when you feel sadness, what sensations would go with that? Do you know what I mean? Sensation in the body. Like, does the body feel very like this?
No. Heavy.
No. Heaviness. So that's a good sensation word. Wonderful sensation word is heaviness. And heaviness in the body, like this.
I felt excitement.
And what does that feel like?
It's opened and we feel free.
Excitement. Open and free.
When we are not with our parents, we feel lonely and empty.
Lonely and empty. What does that feel like in the body?
Tight.
Huh? Tight. Okay, wonderful.
She's coming.
Sometimes we also feel shyness and that time we feel like something is just pressing us down or something's really uncomfortable.
Yes, yes.
So did you get that?
No.
Shyness.
Yeah.
It feels like something is pressing us down and it feels uncomfortable.
Shyness is like something pressing down and it feels unpleasant, uncomfortable. So when we talk about sensations, instead of emotions or feelings, right, we're talking about something physical, right? Physical, like pain, tightness, heaviness, these kinds of things. You know, they're connected, of course, to our feelings like happiness, sadness, but these are things we actually feel directly in our body. So we call these things sensations. Yeah. Did you?
When we suffer from a disease, at that time we feel like now we are being alone.
You feel alone.
Yep.
Okay. So if we want to talk about the sensations of feeling alone, what if you think of in your body, what might that, what in our body might tell us that we're feeling alone?
The thoughts.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything that might be happening in the body? So since the thoughts are in our mind,
The brain stopped to work.
the brain stops working. And what does that feel like in the body? Do you feel heavy, or do you feel light? Do you feel open or
Feel
closed?
very heavy.
Heavy. Okay, so heavy is one sensation. Okay, wonderful. So,
sensation来着吧？我最近的绿草儿来你举个来，参参黄草儿，黄色可以草花是来你举个吧？你呀，same 个红草儿当得是蛮大吧？但是可能最近这些的绿布那了开始草个都是，是吧？但是的，像这个些一边呢，绿基本上是草个都是是吧？的绿个草花是吧？但是可能最近 sensation 开始用个都是，所用的绿布那了看的是草个都是来呢。The
thank you.
So thank you for all of your ideas, and we'll continue to talk about sensations, but I'd like for you to take a moment now, and we're going to move into another activity, where you bring to mind a moment where you received kindness. And this can be from someone in your life, a friend, or it could also be, if it's difficult to think of a person, you can also think of an animal. So maybe just take one moment to bring to mind one moment where you felt that you received kindness, and when you think of this moment, bring it into as much detail as possible. Okay?
And we can give some examples from ourselves to help us think about what this means to receive kindness or give kindness. So just now we had very lovely lunch here at your school. So I felt, you're all very kind to us because you fed us. I was able to eat. I was very hungry, but now I'm very happy. So that's one moment of kindness. Can you think of a moment where you received kindness or you showed kindness to someone? Yeah.
When I'm confused, then my mother give me ideas to solve this problem.
So in a moment where you're feeling confused, your mother knows. She notices and then she is kind. Yes, by that. Anything.
When I'm in problem, my friend always helps me in solving these problems.
Yes.
When teachers teaches us new lessons, or what is good for us and what is not good for us.
This is a kindness, yes.
when my friend's leg was broken, I took him on his back and took him to, clinic, and there was a glow of joy in his face.
A glow of joy.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
When I get sick, my friends come over to meet me. So that time I feel so kindness.
When I feed the dogs and they wag their tails, so I feel very happy.
The dogs wagging their tails, yes.
Whenever I'm sad at home, I actually go outside to free up myself, but then my cat comes to me and just sits on my lap, so that makes me feel really happy.
When I'm sad and it feels like drowning in the mud, but my father came to me and taught me how to deal with the situation, deal with the problem.
Your father came to you, yeah?
Whenever I'm alone at home, my neighbors feed me, and I feel kindness at that time.
Wonderful.
When I get hurt, my friend help me.
When I was hungry, my teacher gave me banana to eat, so I felt very kindness.
When I was lost in a temple, an Indian man helped me and gave it to my parents.
Very good. Okay, we'll have this be the last one, so we move on.
When I was drowning in the water, a man saved me, and I felt kindness with him.
Okay, that's a very powerful one.
Yes.
Very powerful.
So we've heard that we have some daily kindnesses, also some very strong memories of kindness. So what we're going to have you do, if you will think of your moment of kindness and take a moment to either write or draw about your moment inside of your journals. Okay, so we'll give you some time. And you do not need to share these with anyone. Just think of in as much detail as possible and draw or write about this moment of kindness.
When I was walking by the street, I saw a kid was crying, and I said, "What happened?" He said that he lost his balloon. So when I was searching for it, I saw it. It was stuck on a small tree near my house. So I brought a long ladder and and rushed to that kid, and then I put the ladder on the tree, and then I climbed it and gave it to him, and he was very happy.
He was very happy. You can keep the mic. When you think about that and you're sharing it with us now, do you notice anything on the inside?
Yes, I was feeling proud.
Proud. What does proud feel like in the body?
Like very happy.
Very happy?
Yeah.
Where do you feel proud and happy? Any
near my heart.
In your heart?
Yeah.
What do you notice about your heart?
Heart is very, beating very calmly and very, I'm feeling warm.
Where do you feel warm?
From my heart. It's like a sense of happiness.
Okay, so you notice it's beating kind of in a calm way?
Yeah.
And there's warmth there?
Yeah.
And that tells you that you're happy?
Yeah.
You're proud? You did something good?
Yeah.
Is it a pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling?
It is a very pleasant feeling.
Pleasant feeling. Okay. Good, wonderful. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
When I was a kid, a dog bite on my face. It was bleeding very bad. One of my homemade brother, he took me to hospital and make me climb. I feel very kind for him.
Okay. If you don't mind, could you just tell us how you feel inside the body now?
I was feeling little bit angry, and a little bit sad.
A little bit sad. So when you think about this story, it makes you feel a little bit sad?
Yeah.
Is there some place in the body you're noticing that? No. Is there any part of your body that feels better?
My face.
Your face? Yeah, your face. What does your face feel now?
Because when the dog bite, it was bleeding. When it took to hospital, it became well in few weeks. So I become.
Okay. It's okay.
I will.
Well,
Okay.
so thinking, your face helps you think of this.
Okay, thank you.
Once I fell down and badly injured my leg. That time my elder sister helped me, and I was really happy and relieved that she was there to help me.
Okay. So when you think of being helped in this way, you think of that moment, what do you feel on the inside?
Actually, when I thought of the moment, I felt pain because I got injured. At the same time, I feel really happy, relaxed, and I was really relaxed that she helped me, and that's all.
Okay, thank you.
There was a time when I didn't get an entrance in examination. So during that, I felt broke out and started to feel upset. But one of my friends told me that don't be felt like that and don't give up. I'm sure that you will get a chance another time. So during that, I felt so kindness.
So when you think of that moment of kindness, if you just bring it to your mind, do you notice anything in your body right now?
I felt very pleased to that friend.
Yeah, and right now when you think of the friend,
Right now when I think of the friend,
do you notice any sensations in your body now?
as I feel very proud to her, proud and think that I will support her too when she gets some problems.
You feel you'll support her. So when you think of that, how she helped you and how you will support her now, do you notice anything inside your body? Any sensations like we talked about earlier? You remember we talked about openness or closed or warmth or
I
coolness?
feel close to her.
You feel close to her. Okay. Is there any part inside you that tells you you're feeling close to her? It's okay if you don't sense anything.
My heart.
Your heart? Okay. Okay, thank you. That's wonderful.
Yes.
When my friend solved my problems, I feel very lucky to have a friend like her, and I feel very open to her that I can tell all the problems to her.
Okay. So you have a very good friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you, what does she look like?
She also wears specs.
Oh, yeah?
And she's a bit taller than me.
She's taller than you. What's her name?
Buti.
Okay, okay. What do you like about her?
She's very kind. She's always ready to help others.
How long have you been friends?
1 year.
1 year. So, Buti?
Yeah.
So when you think about Buti and how kind she is and she's your friend, you know, do you notice anything inside your body now when you think about her?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like she always helps me, and she says what happened to you when I every time feel sad. She always tells me what happened, and I'm very free to tell her.
Okay. So, and we're interested in what sensations you feel. So I noticed some sensations even from the outside. I noticed you were smiling. You know, I noticed some signs. You know, you seem maybe happy to think of her.
Yeah.
Yeah? Is there anywhere in the body you notice that? You know, maybe light.
Yeah,
Where would you say?
I felt everywhere.
Everywhere in your body. So when you feel everywhere in your body, what are you feeling everywhere in your body? If you wanted to describe it, how you feel. I know it's difficult sometimes. You know, remember some of the words we used. Nervousness? No, not nervousness. Openness?
Yeah.
Yes, openness. What about tightness? Tight. No? Loose? More loose?
Yes.
Okay, more loose than tight. What about pressing down? Someone said pressing down.
No.
It's not like pressing down. So is it more like lifting up?
Yeah.
Okay, more like lifting up. What else do we have? Free. Someone said free. Is it like free or is it like not free?
It's free.
It's free. Okay. So these are sensations, right? So this is you're describing how you feel in your body when you think of your friend. Yeah? Do any other words come to mind? Those are good ones, is it? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think
Yeah, we can.
you want to debrief?
So we'd like to ask you a question. Now that you've thought about sensations and we have explored sensation words, completed, if you feel comfortable too, how did it feel to be a student in this class? What was that experience like for you? We're going to debrief.
It feel a little nervousness and confident. Okay, and also concentration to listening the teacher. Okay.
Thank you.
We all just develop our listening skills.
I feel blessed to be in this classroom because we are the one who get a special chance to be in this classroom.
In this classroom as a student, I felt really like I have to do something because I'm a candidate of my school and I'm representing my school, so it feels like, yes, you have to do something, you can do something.
It feels like I was staying with some professionals, English professionals.
As a student in this classroom, I feel happy.
At first, I was feeling very nervous, but when we participate on every activity, I started building my confidence, and I felt very comfortable.
I felt comfortable and blessed.
Brendan, as you led the experiences, is there anything that you noticed or that you would do differently?
No, it's perfect. No, what I would do differently is I want to be with you every day and do more.
Yes.
Thank you. So maybe we can have observations from the teachers.
Observe that at first you were more active with these two groups. I feel that the back two are lagging behind, so in my opinion, I feel that if you can inculcate all the groups together, and I also feel that there was more one-to-one conversation, and your questions, your way of questioning were very supportive. The way you asked questions to the students, even when they were feeling very shy, with your way of questioning, they feel very supportive and they were able to come up with their answers.
It seems the classroom is very much disciplined. Might be because of the teacher trained very well and demonstrated in a very good quality way. So that's why the classroom seems very disciplined, and they learn a lot about like sensation and the feelings defining between them. That's it. What I observe.
This was a little different from what you tried in the previous class. And I would just like to say I am so impressed and moved by the way these young children can think in that depth. And I feel that we as adults need to learn a lot from them. The way they can think, we should never in a way underestimate that these are children and their way of thinking would be different from adults. And I was so proud that yes, we have these kids who can think in that depth. And yes, it's really a wake-up call for all adults.
What is the difference between sensation and emotion?
Oh, good question. What is the difference between sensation and emotion? Well, you all were in the class, and if we had more time, see, you're all very smart because we actually took 2 lessons and we put them into one. Usually we have a lesson just on sensations, then we have a lesson on the drawing and the resource, but we did both together. So, can any of you answer that question? What's the difference between sensation and feeling?
Emotion. And emotion.
Sorry, sensation and emotion. Sorry. What's the difference between sensation and emotion? It's okay if it's a guess, too. It's okay to guess.
Maybe thinking about where do you experience those? Where do you experience emotions?
I think that sensations can be felt mentally and physically, but emotions can be only felt by mentally and not physically.
Okay. Huh? What are some emotions that you can name? Do you know? Can anyone name some emotions?
Sad.
Sad.
Angry.
Yes.
Angry. Yes. Sad and angry. They're 2 very good emotions, right? So if we talk about the sensations, say, of anger, right? Angry is an emotion. Now we talk about sensations. What sensations might go with anger? What sensations? Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, when I get angry, when I feel angry, I feel tight. I don't feel like loose and relaxed. Yeah, that's very good.
Pain and heaviness.
Yeah. Pain and heaviness. These are both sensations, right? Pain and then like heaviness, right? Yeah. The opposite would be, feeling of pleasure, right? And heaviness, opposite of heaviness is lightness. So if I say, I feel a lot of pleasure and very light, then you think I'm angry? Probably not. Maybe not, yeah. That's wonderful. Anyone else? Oh, sorry.
Annoyed.
Annoyed is a sensation? Or more of an emotion?
Sensation.
Annoyed is a sensation. Where would you feel it somewhere in the body?
I felt it in the heart.
In the heart. Okay, so maybe you can feel sensation in your heart of being annoyed. Yeah. Okay. Is it helpful?
Yes.
Is it getting a little bit clearer?
Yeah.
It's okay if it's not 100% clear, because to me it's not 100% clear yet. But it's actually, this is what we all learn together. We all explore and we learn together, and because it's your own experience, your own body, your own mind, it's not for someone else to tell you it's this way or that way. It's for us all to learn and discover for ourselves. Yeah, and find out what's useful for us. Any other questions for the students? From the students? Questions or comments?
So I wanted to ask, why did we only choose this topic, like some kind of resource or sensation? what was the main reason for us to know about that?
That's a great question.
Yes.
So, so we have a program that we are developing.
They need to know. Yeah.
You need to know. We're going to only explain to them and not explain
No,
to you,
you
but it
need
seems
to.
like you also want to know. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to create a program, called Secular Ethics. How to be a good person, how to be a happy person, how to contribute to the happiness of others. So this program has different parts. And the first part is how we take care of ourselves. If we can take care of ourselves, it helps us to take care of others, right? So how do we take care of ourselves? Well, we have so many emotions and so many sensations. Sometimes we feel very stressed, sometimes we feel very angry. And then when we feel those ways, we might do things that we regret. Does it make sense? Maybe I get really angry, I do something, and then later I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, right? So if we develop resources and tools to help us, then maybe when I get angry or I get very stressed or I get very worried, I have some skills, some tools, some things I can do that help me calm down, help me have a clearer mind, help me think better, and then make a better decision. Then I'm taking care of myself and I can better take care of others. So we have many, many lessons. This is just one lesson. This is a lesson about coming to understand our body. So in our body we have something called the nervous system. The brain, but also the brain goes down into our body, right? And if we learn about sensations, sensations give us information about our nervous system, about our brain, and what's happening inside our body. The sensations, if we pay attention, they tell us what's happening inside our body. And if we know what's happening inside our body, then we can do things to take care of our body. So the body is getting very angry and lots of nervousness, then I can do something. If I notice it, I can do something. So we have some sections on this, and this is just one little part of that. Does it help? A little bit? The reason we're here is to also, demonstrate or show something for these teachers so they can watch, what we're creating and how we teach in the classroom, and then they can see, and if they like it, they can do it, and if they don't like it, then they'll do something else.
You can tell them you like or don't like.
Yeah. Does it make sense? Okay.
We started having the lessons on secular ethics in our school from 2016. But we started from observing different weeks, ethical mindfulness and appreciating kindness. And it was 2016 and 17, we were just giving kind of information. We were, even the staff, the teachers were struggling about how to carry on with those lessons, the 10 competencies. Sometimes it happens we feel that the values, actually we say the values are caught, not taught. So sometimes we take it for granted that these values are intact. So we integrate the values in all the subjects that we teach, be it science, be it English, be it social science or maths. So in a way, we felt we have never taken it teaching those values as a separate subject. So when we were in a way started doing all this, we were struggling. So I'm just wondering, because last year it was more observing a week of appreciating kindness, gratitude week. So different teachers were doing their presentation through PowerPoint, storytelling. And then this year, now we are thinking of why not make it more practical this time? Now the children are all aware of the different competencies. So how about going into now something practical? So that is something that we are thinking about this year. So I'm just wondering, is it a good idea to go step by step, or like it's in real life, it doesn't happen like 1 month it's all you have to think about kindness only. Like for 1 month you just have to think about gratitude only and forget about the rest. It's not that. These are all integrated. So that's something very challenging. So we have to take care of all those things. At the same time, we cannot touch everything together at the same time. So this is really something that is like a challenging thing for us. So we really want to seek your advice and because you have been working in this field. So we would be so grateful if you would share your expertise in this field. How about going on doing all this in a practical way? And whether it should be like step by step, one after another, or it can be integrated overall together in a way. I hope you got my question.
The first version of our program, we had a first framework, and that was the 10 competencies. So, and then we saw when we drove up here, you have it even outside on the side of the school. This is wonderful, you know. So, but then, you know, as you said, you know, we felt like the teachers, sometimes they want to teach this as a subject, and then they need, you know, very specific lessons, you know, that move through the program. So we have changed the framework slightly, but it does not invalidate the previous one, the 10 competencies. These lessons all fit into the 10 competencies, yeah. But they are presented in a very gradual way, and also a very bite-sized way. So I don't know, that's the expression we use, bite-sized, you know, small, just a little bit at a time, little bit at a time. So each one looks quite simple, so that the teachers, if they're not that familiar with this, they can do it quite easily. But then it builds, you know, builds. And gradually, all these different dimensions are coming together. You know, so you cannot, it's difficult to teach them all at once. So you teach them in a gradual way, but eventually they're all coming together, And the students are kind of understanding that. You know, so for example, our new framework, we have 3 domains. Personal domain, which is just, you know, how I take care of myself and understand myself. Then there's a social domain, or interpersonal domain. So how do I relate with others? This is where we bring in the gratitude and forgiveness and compassion, appreciating others, you know. Then there's, lastly, the systems domain. Systems domain means I'm part of a whole community. You know, I'm part of a school, I'm part of a family, I'm part of a, you know, this larger systems. So how do I think about that, you know? And ultimately, especially for the older students, I'm part of a world, global community, you know? So do I have to care or, you know, think about people very far away? Do they impact me? Do I impact them? So, you know, children can understand this, of course, if they're introduced to it gradually. So this is the new framework we have, but it's still connected to the old one, and it's developed in that way, in a gradual way. But eventually, it's all coming together.
And in my experience of implementing, I work with in our age level would be 14 to 18 years old. So after this group, and it's a standalone course. And I also work, just as we have designed for the lower levels, in bite-sized pieces, and building, scaffolding, learning back, building, scaffold, learning back, and then deepening also through formal reflective, first written journal reflections, and then formal meditation, so that knowledge is not just being received, but those insights, after looking at multiple perspectives, are able to arise, and the student owns that process of coming to conviction, and then the embodied level finally. So we have experienced that as you go increment by increment, bit by bit, and deepening with intention, and revisiting, and then also going to the themes of common humanity, fundamental equality, and interdependence. I'm introducing those whilst introducing the content, which is how it's designed. That way we're deepening that to be an abiding lens. So I'm starting to see shifts in behaviors, so not just behaviors to the self, but behaviors to one another in the class, and their insights are starting to become more about the global perspective. What can I do, given my limited capacity, to make a difference, step into responsible action?
Yeah. So there are different ways this curriculum can be implemented. So a standalone class, as Jen is doing. Also, teachers can infuse it into their subjects. So if it's not just the teacher teaching a class in secular ethics. It can also be an English teacher, a math teacher, history teacher, social studies, social science. So one example, one of the earliest schools that we worked in, we went in and we started introducing some of these concepts. We didn't have this full program yet. This was several years ago. But we were introducing the concepts of compassion and impartiality, equanimity, empathy. Then early in the school year, we did that. And then later, we went back and talked to the teachers. And they said, oh, these ideas have changed our teaching very much. So in the States, we have a day for Martin Luther King Jr. So every day, early in the year, we honor Martin Luther King Jr. So the teachers said, every year we have this day, and every year we teach the students, who is Martin Luther King Jr. and what he did and everything. But this year it was different, because this year we talked about empathy and compassion and equality, And so it was a completely different lesson. They're not just learning facts about history. They're learning something about values, And that also connects it to the life of the student. Then all of a sudden, many subjects can come alive if you connect it to values. I'm not just learning history in a very abstract way, but this is about human values. And these people in history were human beings just like us, and they were facing these problems just like us, And they had, anger and compassion and, love and ignorance and all these things, So then, all of a sudden these subjects can become very relevant. And then it can be infused in the subjects. Of course, as the teachers develop more understanding, we talked earlier, the teachers can also model it better. And then, as we said, even the whole school, can be infusing this throughout the entire school. Even the policies and so forth, it can be infused by these things. So that's our hope.
I think I would also add just the self-regulation component. Some of the skills that you started to see emerging here are very helpful as a building of a culture of compassion. So, and self-regulation. So we know that our children are learning better when they are in a not activated hyper or hypo, right? Falling asleep or too anxious. So integrating some of these skills you may even find is something that comes very naturally once the students learn the language and the skills. Even just giving, for my students, I just give them 1 minute open space and they choose their own, because now they have a toolbox of strategies and they know which ones work for them personally. But as you build those skills, these are also part of the culture. And it's not necessary that it be a standalone course. It can be in every course.
And I'd just like to tell, one story that happened recently about why it's important for the teachers and administrators also to know the content and these skills. So in one of the schools we were working in the US, the teacher was teaching the children about the nervous system. And after this lesson, there comes a lesson called grounding, which is, if I touch something that I like, or I lean against the wall, or I hold my body in a certain way, this can calm my nervous system. And a lot of us do this, like sometimes I just, maybe pull my ear, or, like play with my hair, or maybe there's like a necklace I like to touch, and then this kind of relaxes me, yeah? So the teacher was teaching the children this, and the children, it's very helpful for the children, because when they feel nervous or anxious or too much energy, they can do these things, and they learn them for themselves, what works for them. But one of these children, he liked to kind of when he's feeling nervous, he likes to kind of move a little bit, then it makes him feel better. But he got called into the principal's office, the headmaster's office. And because, headmaster, this is a very small boy, I think he's only, 10 or 11. And so he's very nervous, because he's seeing the headmaster. And so in order to calm himself, he's kind of going like this. He's sitting down, actually. And the headmaster, scolded him and said, stop doing that. You're too old to be like moving like that, So then this boy, didn't understand, because he had been taught by his teacher, this is what he should do, So he goes back to his teacher and says, I don't understand, I went to the headmaster and he scolded me for doing this. So the teacher said, maybe we need to learn, other things you can do also. But also the headmaster needs to understand, right? Otherwise, he doesn't understand what's happening. He's actually kind of undoing, the teaching that's happening in the classroom. So when we understand these things, it also changes the way we view behavior. We understand this child, is not a bad child, or undisciplined child. But there's something happening inside of them. That's why this is taking place. And if we understand that, then we can respond more effectively.
Now I see some people who need English. So with regard to this question, what I really thought was to share one decision that we made during the recent Education Commission meeting, where we clearly said that when it comes to teaching secular ethics in the Tibetan schools, it can be related to Buddhist teaching, because secular ethics is not at all against any religion, okay? So that you need to remember. Now why I'm saying this is, with regard to the question that you raised, we need to know one thing, as Brendan, briefly pointed out. The basis of all this secular ethics is related to our inborn wish to have happiness and wish to shun suffering, which is completely equal to everybody. That we need to realize. And it is based on that, one of the most important ingredient for teaching secular ethics is compassion. So if you want to summarize it, it is actually summarized in Buddhism by saying that the two most important, component of Buddhist teaching, which is like the two wings of the bird, is a good heart and good head, which means compassion and the cognitive aspect, or the wisdom that knows the reality as it is. So therefore, this is very important, because when we talk about teaching secular ethics, it's not just developing the compassion, certain emotions, and then gradually you become a yes man. You become a doormat to everybody, you see. So the cognitive component is extremely important, and in fact in Buddhism we talk about developing that right compassion based on understanding the reality of suffering, impermanence, emptiness, whatever. So that development of the emotional aspect, especially compassion, must be based on wisdom, knowledge. So these two, development of wisdom and compassion, is very important. And His Holiness, I think on the last session, he also mentioned, while appreciating all the presentations, he mentioned that it is not enough just to say stress, 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 stress. You remember he said we must go deeper. If you want to really solve the problem, you need to go deep, which is really, really very clearly taught in Buddhism. All the problems that we are experiencing are rooted in ignorance. So how to eradicate that ignorance? And Richie also asked this question on the very last moment. So we have that. So we need to go there. I think that I felt is very, very important to mention. And then also, when we are having this program with the students, I was wondering that the students were really amazing. They were able to talk about so many things in English. I was wondering whether they can so eloquently say the same thing in Tibetan. This is not a kind of nationalistic attitude, but what I'm saying this is because His Holiness repeatedly said, when it comes to the knowledge of the mind, the Western psychology is kindergarten, and they must learn. That's why I also distributed that book, on the mind and mental factors. So therefore, what I'm saying is, we should, make these students able to say all these emotions, which is at least already explained in the Buddhist, text, right? So I think that is what I want to say. Yeah. So in other words, the summary is compassion and knowledge, if you want to summarize it. Now when it comes to actually helping sentient beings, the needs of sentient beings are like unthinkable, so much demand. So for some people you need to have compassion, for some people you need to have patience, for some people you need to go and help how to reduce their stress. So depending upon their need, we need to gain expertise in these different fields. But the focus is elevation of suffering and make them meet with happiness. So once you have this one thing in your mind, that's why in one of the Buddha's teaching he says, if you have one quality in the palm of your hand, you have all the qualities in the palm of your hand. And he asked this question again saying, what is that quality? He says, compassion. So that is really, really the moving force. If that is not there, then we can talk about all these emotions, but it will not make us move. Thank you.
Nge chawade kare yin slaba ina anchitangi taranshuke me gishela dulagi chi song nang song anzo sangshu sayate anchitang kutubia chuku gutone sangshu sayate nge ko lelabo chi yong toya mewache sangshu sayate zo 보고 이날에 간사 순르 지인바이나야 수수그 공실을 자고야지. 근데 인도 삼말이야 대나로는 개취시지데 아니 개겐데 배 개취무시부지 손나고도와 근데 인자 아니 쿠란스 응원에 개겐솔에 민세기 상시 야진도야 단데 거리야 탈랑도지 단다부터 간다간도 되나 세기 저어디 아니 얘기 다가서래 다 삼수 세나면도 ngaran sugi ta chi peba chole chashanare ta ngaran sugi rishung gi naluliya migi yara chusang sete yongya gi ta samlo tanya gi chi thalang do ta mombo shubuchi ta ngaran chole ta penson chobachi ta yede ya chi ngaran chole rishung chun to su yere ro digi nge jaga gi da drumchi do digi pesen tang chen shuba ina jaga gi danda chi luju ngojong ina gare ina chi do te naluliya ngomate 자가 나로리야 당한저 뜻고다 사도 아니지 먼저 구루지 든지리야 아니 구루지 쿠란페 가서 그래 줘봐 삼보 미순르지 투바이네 게임자냐 쉐딩이지 든지 요레스 쿠란리야 기투지 요레스 기투드 카투이네 롱랑보 슈지 미기 뜻이 라바이네 드사멘주 람상 쿠란 롱랑보 슈지 든지 요레스 아니 마지 기투디 아니 겐즈 체인지네 아 겐라 치람 베트코라 가두이나야 게임지지제 안 튼지기 배치는 줘봐 상보시부지 든지 도스 나 가두이나 별롱 랑보시우지다 콩트라차부시우지 든지 연구도스 디기 지금 내수에 간다치기 원에 든지 연구여레스 제제 겐레야 간다시바레사 아 겐데기 도산지 단지네 디콜레야 학 가게 하고 보면서 나랑 줘봐 상보다 든지 가리면 하고 보면서 저랑롱 잡으시부지 임바다 든지기 내수에 하고 보면서 이날레스 네 저랑 기내지 지시고였어 됐어도 안 그것도 아 괜찮았어 니네지도 가르려도 됐어도 개겐되게 도스제제 저랑 든다치기 질 시야레샤스지 등에 하고 손스 대마도 심하게 하고 오면서라도 안텔라서 좀 코란베 센지 가르스고래 맞으나 센테스고로 하다 세마도 쉬우르 제제는 지 됐어도 다시 있는 지수도 어떤지 는 샤도지 제제 말로도 아고 마진 슈르레도 좀 코산 단지 아오 당아 된다치미시 대요 말레스 된데송다 네 된다치기 린레야 밀치 두자치 쥐방님 바치 된데잖아 앞에서는 용사 말레스 안미 쥐바 삼보 쉬우지 제제 안메 베기 고말이야 가지고 생에 말라션 주던데 여러와 되게 투바이나 란사 고한다 고망에 전한테 제받은 리마서 고한다스 제제 어떤데기 또 놓고 야부쉬우지 자바레스 안데서 된다치기 차비제래야 고라야 다코시야 임바제 아코 겐즈 용제 당 앞에 드린 시아레스 어떻습니까 게 고치 말이야 가서 왔다간저 아시와트 나로나스 안도 슈도아 그래서 되는 겐데게 저런 된다치기 나로야 간도 총수지 라도아 당아 된다치기는 깨버 쉬우 총수 가르스나 나란 쥐바 야부 쉬우 제야 총수 아니 엄마베 두자 제상에 메두슬 임바이네 고한다스지는 차망하다 주부 야부 쉬우지 차서 어떻게 쉬도아 그래서 좀 겐데게 데르다스 니기 쥐어봐 삼보 차야 돼 된데서 정세 들랑 두고 열었어 먼저 메시지 내처럼 된다지기 제일 시야르서 라르티 이네 단단한 시고에 산이시고에서 시하고 말했어 신 시야르스 어떤 sonza 된데게 돈 산당 토바 이나 angwane tanegi susu joba sambutu chagres jeje dusonando odusdi 당에 percent tere ngaransugi joba sambo chayalya metabase jora tindegi tun san tambayine ngone taneta susu joba sambo ta yarab jusan se jora tinde yungagi tun tembegi ta pendu dusu yungo yasares jeje dusu yai tuche.
So the one opinion that he would like to share is that in our culture, in our tradition, especially the Nalanda tradition, there are numerous methods and techniques to cultivate oneself ethically, as well as to promote and cultivate the basic human goodness, and we should be aware of that. And one particular technique that we can use, I would like to highlight that by sharing a story. It's a story about an Indian sage who had a student, and the sage was known for his ethical practices as a very good person, and everybody respected him. On the other hand, contrary to that, his student was very mean, very cruel, and very ill-behaved, and everybody made complaints about him all the time. And one day the student came to his master and asked, why is it that everyone respects you? Everyone has such a high regard for you and considered as a very good person. On the other hand, why do they consider me as a very mean person? And the master said that, I don't know anything about that. I know only one thing, and that is you're going to die after a week. That I know, right? So the student was very, scared, and he left the teacher emotionally, very heavy. And then he started to, reflect about his behaviors and so on, and started to realize that what he had been doing had been really bad, that he had been hurting a lot of people. And so he started, mending his ways, so to speak. And, whomever he met that he had insulted, in the past, he asked for forgiveness and so on. So he spent the rest of the days, doing that. And through this way, he became more and more happier. He became happier. And on the 7th day, he went back to his teacher and said that this is the last day. Please give me your blessing, as I would, now die soon. And at that point, his teacher asked him, how was your experience over the week? And he informed the teacher, what had occurred over the week. And then, and he said that, now I am really happy. I was able to mend, relationships and so on over the week. And the teacher said that that was the secret of my goodness, that I constantly reflect on on my impermanence. That no one can say when you will die. When you will die, you can die tomorrow or day after. When you constantly reflect upon your impermanence, then uncertainty of your death, then that could influence and affect the way you behave in a society. And the lesson here is that we can use the understanding of impermanence of our life as a way to inspire ourselves in cultivating these human values and cultivating yourself ethically.
Yes, very, very good point, Geshe-la. Actually, I've thought about this a lot also. The reflection on impermanence is such a powerful method. Of course, what this is the way I personally see it, and Geshe-la can also make comments. We are starting very gradually, and His Holiness also has described this as a very long-term project, not something that will be completed in a few years, or even in 10 or 20 years, but very, very long-term project. I think probably, and maybe it's different also here in the Tibetan culture, where you can bring in things like this, and it's more acceptable. I think right now, in the Western countries, it's we start a little bit more slowly and more gradually, and eventually we see how things go. And maybe we reach the point where for some of our older students, we can actually start bringing in these concepts. Certainly for older students and also for college students, it's very safe to talk about this. In fact, some universities in the West, they have classes on death and dying, and these are the most popular courses at the university because they're so powerful for the students. Because we're beginning with such young students, we're not introducing that yet. But I think His Holiness clearly wants us to draw from the breadth and depth of the Nalanda tradition. And so we are, trying to move more and more in that direction. And I think more of it will come in, and we very much want to do that. So it's a very good point. The first question. I forgot the first question.
Teachers.
Oh, the teacher. Sorry. Yes, of course. If the teacher is not ethical. So, the way we're developing the program, we are not just giving the materials, but we're also doing teacher preparation or teacher training. So we have workshops for the teachers. We introduce them to the concepts. We also introduce them to the practice, so that they can learn the practices themselves. And we're also creating supplementary materials, videos and other materials that they can use to practice in an ongoing way. So this is a very important thing, but it's also a very challenging thing, because ideally we would like the teachers to be very, very well trained in the materials and also the practices, but at the same time we want the program to not be restricted and to go very broadly. So we are working very hard to try to figure out what is the most effective way to prepare the teachers. One way that may prove in the future to be most effective is in teacher education, so in teacher colleges. So once the teachers are out and they're teaching, they don't have much time, and all their energy is on the classroom and on teaching the students. So at least this is what we find very much so in the US. So it's very difficult to get them to engage in training in a very serious way. And maybe you get a few days over the summer, but it's very difficult. But if we can get this into the teacher colleges, then before they even go out to teach, they are doing this. And also they're required to do it, like as part of their education. So that could be a very good way of going forward, and we're starting to explore that now. Then they would, be able to study all this in a place where they have the time and space and energy, and it's even required by the institution even before they go out. So this is one thing we're going to try.
I would like to speak also to the school where I am implementing. It became very clear when working with teachers there, although I trained each of them, there was still a feeling of not having the time to devote to implementation. And they also felt not confident with the underlying concepts. So in the West specifically, we have our program, Cognitively Based Compassion Training, which is developed at Emory also, which are the stabilizing and analytical practices, formal meditation practices, and topics that underlie secular ethics. I'm exploring by teaching a course only to teachers and even administration in CBCT, so that at the institution level, the ground becomes more and more fertile with the underlying concepts, rather than just what is C learning and growing growing to know what are the competencies, etc. But they are asking for also a self-practice, both for self-care and to understand the deeper underlying concepts. And they're in the practice then of deepening those understandings. When they get stuck, they have to navigate. So when they're working with children, they're able to help navigate when children also get stuck.
When have you started implementing this SE in school? And what changes have you seen in your students? And have you ever done any scientific research on them?
And Brendan can speak to the research. So I'm currently working with the level of 14 years to 18 years. And in August, I began a standalone course. And so we've moved through the concepts of Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and now we are on Chapter 4. And so mid-year, we're about Chapter 4. And I've started to notice a very robust and vibrant support of one another. In fact, students begin to share how every day they're using skills from the class in their own lives. So not just the skills related to resiliency, but understanding the concept of self-compassion and navigating difficult emotions. They recognize now they're stopping themselves before reacting in anger and choosing more constructive ways of relating. I'm also noticing more of an interest in making change. So they ask, what can we do? How can we help? And so they're starting to see the urgency of the needs of others, both people whom they know and people whom they do not know. And how can I, given my limited capacity, help them? So all of these are becoming visible more and more each day, and their bond with one another it feels very, very good. It's quite different from my other classes where this stance of courageous compassion is not explicit. So my other classes, they're still healthy, but this one is robust and confidently so.
So just about how far along we are in terms of schools. So we have now done various workshops for about 400 educators in the US, in Germany, and in India. And we have, many of those are going through the curriculum now this year, like Jen is doing. And then they're also giving us feedback. So from the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, that they're saying the students are finding it very useful, and the teachers also are finding the lessons quite easy to implement, so it doesn't take them a lot of time to implement them. So we're going to collect that information. In the US, our school year ends around May, right? Is that correct? Around May? May, June?
May, beginning
yeah.
of June.
End of May, beginning of June, the school year is ending. We're going to collect all that feedback and then use that to improve, the curriculum, and also any feedback that you have, thoughts you have to offer us, we will incorporate into all of that. So this is what we're doing right now. In terms of, very rigorous scientific research, since we're still developing the program, we're not able to evaluate it yet, but we have that planned. We're preparing for that. But we are building off of over 30 years of research in social, emotional, and learning programs. And we have scientific advisors as part of our group who look over all the materials and advise us. So there's there's a growing body of research of programs. These are not exactly secular ethics, in education. We are bringing something new. Otherwise His Holiness would not have asked for this. But we are building off of what they have done. So there's a decent body of research that is suggesting that to do these kinds of programs do have positive effects. even possibly, it seems, on students' academic performance, which only makes sense if they're learning to regulate themselves. It was very interesting that many of the students said they learned to concentrate better and listen and hear better. That was amazing in just such a short session, So I don't know if they were exaggerating a little bit, but if it's true, that's very excellent, because obviously, paying attention and listening is absolutely essential to learning. And a lot of students find it difficult because, of all the things going on in their body. So we are looking forward to doing some really good research, but that will take a little bit of time.
아니 데라 ngajo shirili 공기 공어 통제 공감을 생겨쳐네 다리 ngajo sab종 안 디다 제위기 ngajo 개겐 레지 철라 아니 칼롭람 덴치 나로 나시
다 니마찌 그런가라 슐루로 마덴페 상주에 제베 토라 아니 다 드람살라 쿠기 라프라카기 게라 남바타 엔로투 남바 카지글라 단다 에머리 유니버시티 네다 chulula madem pe sangjo thola ta kewa Jennifer re tegna shi brand re che ani keshlo sa tenzin la keshla to la che chin tinde chi nga zo kokap sangbu chi thabre ti ta da ni she kon la chino kon kyam gon chimbu cho ushu thola bi zola kan la sem ta so ki chongdu chimbu chi bi chu nang bare en tin tu zane de kabla ta kon na ba zo chongdu la nyamshu na 제진에 엔 총주디 주바다 안주데 다 자베 다린디 튕규 다 지가서래 로람난게 저보데 간데보다 진짜 차도 딘두선 엔디 톨라다 지금 안주 시리리공원에다 계란 넘버 절바 존다 피야다 델 구티슈야다 딘데 보시마도 게 저데 간데보다 진짜 차도 엔게 다리데 통마들라 데 sabrin난게게 에네 제니퍼 레 브랜드 레엔 계실 로스텐질라레 계실하돌라 and samalolange shiriligonone ene tuche nasin shuei and de kelan number mangboji dindis pe na sha tona chejene pe kawchung tandange ta ningdu do shuya karens na tanda shiriligongone ta tanda chulula made pe sangju di danganzu leshi kechimbo shujila munzi shuye di shudu zane ta leshi kechimbo shujila munzi shujine shiriligongke chetubade danganzu ke rimbe chik leshi 카나 넘버솔라 sabjon na re tegnashin ta rimbe kigen sola sabjon nang be thone labda kha nang la enita emory university ni tanda thungyu na chejeng anzu lapshi chenji tinde soe bang thi yore tinde thola maung lapshi chenji ran soe china labda kha nang la ta ta re tinde nganzu kuti shudi ye tindu chane ta shiri ligong ke zo de nganzu shen len zo ke tinde ke san la khonzu gen shu war en tinang la leje do mix ka chen tinze pe mala tinde syu tindu chane ta namba zo ke ngai tari shya zo de karsna ta de leshi de ke chimbo shibuji nganzu chagi yore chino konsu kyamgön chimbo chone ta loma mangbo kong la kanda kalop na sha be karso re tinde ke nedön ji cha de yore tindu chane zo do de chino konsu kyamgön chimbo choge kanda zambuling di nang lo la 다 간다 강에 망부 쉬우지 에는 상주 그 봉제진에 엔 강에 망부 쉬우 테기도스 인지 뒤 그렇게 키란자 나 키란 저라 딘두선에 진노 건스 겸근 첨부 초기 간다 칼로 페베 나라 엔 잠블링 디 나로라다 간다 강에 망부 쉬우지 간주 상주 그 봉제진에 딘데 용어 테기도스 엔 하바도 랍다 다직 랍데 난기 에듀케이션 시스템 코라 칭오버기 단다 직 딜라 슈크침부 슈스텐 제진네 materialistic oriented 도시 딘데 슈크침부 슈스텐 에는 낭셈기 다직 상배 연된데서 이 시부지 개침부시라 매베 딘데기 다직 람루 도지기 토는 도데두산네 엔 잠블링 나라 강에 망고 시부지 체용구여 봐 딘데기 공바 세제진네 딱 간다 잠블링 디 나라 간다 유바지 태국여 베나 에는 안주 야럽 상주 기 공배 땅베 토네 딘데스 난고도 신다 로망보 코네 칼로 페요레 제자다 칼로 페버디 안중을수 다직 나란주 페바진비 찬네 달랍르카나라 간디스 안주 시행 토라 상주 토라 간디스 공배 비긴베 띵안주 직 진노 콘스 겸고 침부 초기 칼로 페버는 신 안주 라렌타야지 난고고요라와 라바도 누조 카나라 다 군둥 공개 칼로 페버 시존 제신네 망고지 라렌 땅 targi yore kamangbuchi ta dilla lalin ta ke pezu nang tik yore labo the emory university da tinde nang ta di tola 직 심주 제 봐. 엔 럽시 쇠 따든다 누조 칼라 망부지 다리 페이지 넘버서 케유 기레 봐. 따고 민 다민다 가서 따단단 개발듯이 마도 델 시라닝 슈요레 봐. 간주 세굴레 에틱스 슈요르데 간다 남도인데 라베디 단다 군두기 공부했는데 잠닝지를 쯧베 딘데시 샤진 망부스 랍디고 그래. 저도 딘두산에 땅 알아서 랍라카나라 직 딘조기 군두기 공부 인두산에 디트уб 거야디 개인차디여레 딘두산 시릴리공게 디토라 믹스 가르치시네 간주 내든 카시지 토라 군두기 공부 시순진데 직데 줄을 마덴베 상주 토라 간주 믹스 가진 슈게게 레시 망부 방티여 에 짐베림베 다리 삽종레 딩물량 간주 केना नंबर चोला सारा ला सब्जों जी फिर सिंबरे बेलो गोबिल ngंजो सब्जों जी फिर सिंबरे इन कुछ चिनो कोन जम गुन छिमबु छो ने ngंजो केगे मंगबु चिला मिक्स करने ngंजो कंदा कलप लमदुन शुयोरे रवा इन रिम्बे रिम्बे लपसि चंजी तोला ngंजो तिंदेस त जोदिगी योरे रवा इन रिम्बे रिम्बे तंदा इंजी योबरे दे पबेगे तोले क्यु르지네 त तंदा तीसी कुंगे 가르치고선 타니에들에 रवा थानी दे ngंजो सेवची मासो बेना इन को चिग्युर पेजु तांग को एशो रवा ती थानी टेम्बे के तोला ngंजो रिम्बे रिम्बे 세우지 차바네 ene 베규르 가지디 템포 차도레 섬고도 딘두산데 자베 규르데 규리요레 ene 당한 줄랍시 탄진 수두린 베림베 타니가 돌았던데 세가 또연 거야 된데 도스세진 까미 슈디기도 딘두산에 ene 줄랍레 나랑라 간다 림베림베 딘데스 간조 베즈 슈기 딘두산데 디간다 게나 넘버서 간다 세우 켄 거야지 디 페모스 게친 보임바 아랑조 부구솔 자베 간조 럽드 능고르데 상주디 따종 아랑조 드보신 번은 남바상께 남베기 간다 낭바심베 차네 대주토로지 고발레야다 쉬우지 강에 개요 말했음 그도 당아랑주 남균도 잠닝제 다다 간다 딘데게 토로지 누이니 바자도 쉬어봐 다 치도 짐바나야 닝제 다지 출룩단 라두산 코스틱 세 당보 도바다 남도 망부 디코라 세우지 수험하자기 내대 망부지 차디고라 아랑솔라 딘데 강에 메두산에 단다바도 망부 쉬우지 코직 롭수게 뭐도지 결혼 상부 채워다 여러 상주 채워다 잠닝지 채워다 신데마도게 고치 롭즈게 뭐도네 럽디 채데 쇼지 중요 말봐 다 십차고 도지네 간다 니메니마 소소 니레나라 간데스 라린 따르게 임바 부춘중라 간다 맥비트연치네 에네 제고든데 빼지네 딘데게 토라 간다 십신 타와 빼야게 간주 딘데스 요라바 딘두잔디 केना नंबर जोगे पे थुना न छिमबुचिन तारि मंगु पेशा अनि दिजुदुसन माउ बले तिने थोल लेसी दिने पेगिरे अनि दिथोल न्यमसु नारोना एन लाब्रा के नालो ले कंदा लेसी दिजु के छिमबु इमबा चिंगुनजिन ना चेजिने लाले ना पे के छिमबु रेशा रवा लाब्रे के गोटिनि नंबर जुइने रे अनि दिदेयो लेजी जुइने रे रवा एन तिने के थोल नंबर जोगे कोंजा ना चेजिने लाब्रा खा ना गजु दिलेसी के छिमबु रेशा एन पे कोया तिने दिने रेशा सिया शिरि लिगुंगी दिथोल 직믹세기 계란솔라 람든 슈고에다 퉁유 슈고에 딘디여바나 먼저 야 슈션에 디그레 라바 띵거 토랑 먼저 강투두지 간다 레시드 차츠부터 야고직 영향에 배준 가서 배준 최고에도 계신 부시레신 슈에 엔타마들라 다리데 캬르도 데 개원 넘버 쪽에 오늘 최동아 제정 안주들이 삽종지 고지 슈고여바나 딜라 도송 망보 땅고거래 두저 망보 땅고거래 라바 엔 다리데 개와 상부 슈고질 간다 샘다 소게 비길라 소진치기 쇼라 나랑서 고급 상부디 터버레 라와 엔티인도 산티 나랑서 개바 상부스레 삼기도 인도 산에 다리 아니 대페 sab종 닌 가서 니마직스인데 중바된 간서 배 가고 중엔 로브 넘버서 개 제마스테 간다 콘줄레 다리디스 sab종 디기 간다 바자 야고지 샤요레 삼기도 마 라브카나라 인도 산 라브카나라 간다 리구 강마마시 베트로 나신 슈에 다리데 간서 베베 라브라 지보 멤버 단다 동레네 페샤 아니 심바에 페요스레 참말라 테스트레 토치나슈 토치 테스트레
공부 tunjichone 먼저 군전 소라 제다리 되지 나로나시 베기시 당부들랑 아주 실 현저기 척저 계실 학도라라 아니 오늘 이들라는 하는 일이 뭐 아주 뭔가 말기시 떠서면서 얘기라 아니 그냥 얘가 제니가 너 아니 아니 어떻게 나 갑자기 나와 정말요 하더라고 그래 말하는 게 얘가 이거 아니 뭔가 말하는
아니 계시 담들라 페로나
스트치 아니 주드 삼들라 직 페로나 다시 begin 없다 이때 남샤기도 아주 시리고 게 자주 같이 코디 주변에 대시 직다 아주 되나 사자다 미자다 같이 전에 직 튕겨 항상 야고 직 낭슈월에 다리 항상 야고나샤 다시 begin 게 롭지다 안되는 시켜서 아주 저리지가 맞자들가라 안에 비주팀되기 시행에도 봐 이제 내가 페이지에다 같이 차이나스는 이제 투나나지 되는 페이샤 손자다 아주 다시 begin 없잖아요 인 타번에 투지치 주위 아니 내내 타마 제게 지시디 아니 가데 포장 다라시게 공을 잡아준 줄 앞에도 아니 또 다른 게 지금 조선 찾아줘지 아니 가데 포장 달라나 계산에 근데스냐 세레나 요제 아니 공존라야 인 타번에 투지 치슈기 안되는 거 아마 뜻들에 그치